Greetings, students. Welcome to English 125. This is the online 8-week format. So we're going to have a short, intense journey through English 125. It's gonna be a bit of a roller coaster. We're gonna head up the roller coaster, and then we're gonna wind down the roller coaster. So in 8 weeks, we're gonna do this. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm really excited to have you here in this 8-week English 125 class. So this is, to be clear, an asynchronous class, meaning that we don't meet as a class. We don't meet all together on Zoom or anything like that. The assignments are posted in the modules, and then you would do the assignments. And so that's sort of that. So I wanted to go through the syllabus. The syllabus, if you're seeing this video, I hope you can find the syllabus. I'm having it posted in the first module, as well as I have a module at the bottom called info module that I have the syllabus, welcome video, and anything else I can think of that would be necessary for information. So my name is Kelly Ryan, and this is how to contact me. I have my Napa Valley email here. I have also included my AT&T email, just in case anything happens with the college email. If the website were to have trouble or go down or anything, it's good to have another option. The fastest way to get a hold of me is a text, and I have my cell phone right here. Of course, you can always call, you can leave a message, anything like that is fine. But the fastest way for me is a text. So there's that, and then I wanted to go over. I have office hours. My plans are Mondays at 11 o'clock, that you could, but via phone, that you could text me or call me, and if you call me, I'll pick up the phone and say hello. We'll chat, or you could text. I've actually done office hours via text. It was fine. Or if you could text and say you wanted to talk, and then we could do that. Any of that is fine. So Mondays at 11 to 12. However, if that is an inconvenient time for you, but you would like to chat with me, totally fine. I also have I can probably come up with another time that we could talk on the phone or possibly meet in person. I do have office hours on the campus in person on Thursdays at 2 o'clock. From 2 to 2:50. I'm going to have to tell you that location later because it's in the process of moving to a different room. So that is about to change. So I'll have to update you on that. And if you would like to know, you're like, wait, I would like to come see you this Thursday, that's fine. Just send me a text, and I'll update you on that. I just don't know it right now. They're in the process of changing the room. All right, so there's that. Oh, also, I often like to grade papers at Barnes & Noble in Fairfield. So, we could possibly even meet up there or something like that. So there are options, all right? So it says, I wanted to go over where it says that grading, this is how your grade is comprised. So it has 60% is coming from the essays. Because of our very quick format, I could only really fit in 3 essays. So you have to get the essays in to pass the class. If you are missing even one essay, I don't see any pathway to passing. So that would be really unfortunate. So you really need to get the essays in order to pass the class. All right. Homework is 20% of the grade. So that sometimes, human nature, we think, well, 20%, that's not that much. Maybe I'll kind of not worry about that or something. No, actually 20% is significant, and it can actually cause you, in fact, to even jump down a whole letter grade, just depending how everything else is in your juggling act of the different categories, right? And the homework is mainly just that you're doing it. If you're missing a significant part, I will let you know. And I will take off some points if that's the case, but you could also revise that and put that, revise it and resubmit it within a week of getting it back. So that's an option as well, but definitely get it in. That's the best way, easiest and best way is just to get 100% in that 20% category. You're doing all the work, and that really sets you up to do well. All right, so then we have one presentation that's 10% of your grade. It's for the final paper, and it will be an online presentation, meaning it is a slide format or you're making a YouTube video. One of the two. More details to come as we get closer. But you are not presenting to the class as a whole. You're just presenting to me. So for, I think, many folks, that is probably a perk doing it in this online version. All right, quizzes are 10% of the overall grade, so I have them listed, in the syllabus, so they happen at regular intervals throughout the semester, and you'll be quizzed on the documentaries. We're watching a series of documentaries that focus on different aspects of education, and the quizzes will be primarily on the documentaries with a couple of concepts that we go over as well. All right, and they're pretty straightforward. Before every quiz, I also provide a study guide, and the quiz questions do come off the study guide, although the quiz itself would be closed book. All right, so like for example, like say I have a study guide and there are 10 questions on it. 4 of those would be on the quiz, and then there's a bonus question that might or might not come from the study guide because it's bonus, right? All right, so again, this is a critical thinking class, so I'll let you read through where it says the rationale, the student learning outcomes. I'll let you go through that in the interest of time and not putting everybody to sleep. I don't have any pillows. I can't hand you pillows right now, right? But I will go over the policies for late work. I do have a grace period, as I call it. So for the papers, you need the paper 1 and paper 2, essay 1 and 2. I will take up to 1 week past the due date. And I do take off 10 points if it comes in late past the due date. But it is better to get 10 points off but still turn it in than to not turn it in and get a 0. After that 1 week late period, though, I cannot take it. So the way that the modules are set up, it's already put in there, the 1 week grace period, but then it closes. Once the assignment is closed, I cannot take it. It is a huge headache to unlock an assignment. And it just messes so many things up in the class structure, so I just cannot do it. And it also it's an 8-week class, so it gets me behind, it gets you behind. After that 1 week deadline, I can't take it. So that's for papers 1 and 2. I can take the 1 week late with the points up. Paper 3 is the final paper. I can't take it late because everybody's leaving, right? So I have a pretty short time period that I have to get everything graded, final grades submitted, so that one can't come in late. All right, then there's, let's see, so those are the papers. I talked about the presentations, quizzes. All right, so late work. All right, we talked about all that. I'm going to flip the page. So attendance in this format means logging on. So you have to log on and do the work. And because it's such a quick format, if you don't do that for a week, a week represents a pretty large percentage in an 8-week class. So if you don't log in for a week, you are likely to be dropped from the class. So you've got to just keep the energy up and keep going through this 8-week format. And if you have some sort of a issue that you can't attend, as in logging on and doing the assignments for a week, do let me know if you have some unusual circumstances. I will do my best to accommodate you, but at a certain point, it doesn't benefit you if you're not getting the work done, right? So I also don't want it to wreck people's GPAs. So there is a point that I can drop folks, and then there's a point that I can't. So there's that. All right. So you need to log in and keep doing the work, right? All right, so there's that. There's more specific info about that I'll let you go over on your own. So then here are the papers. So what I've done is in this section of the essays, I've given you a mini prompt so that you can start thinking about the essay and brainstorm, or think about what the specifics of what you would like to write about. And then before each paper, I give a longer prompt that I will post. I also do a writer's workshop via video that I hope it will be helpful. But I've given a mini prompt here so that you can look at it and start thinking about it, right? So The first one is on social media. We're going to look at that in your paper. Going to look at that in a critical thinking way of looking at the benefits or the challenges of social media. So you can look at the specifics of that. The next one is this should say B and it says C, and I apologize for that. It's the documentary response. You're going to respond in essay form to one of the documentaries that we watched during the class and write a paper about it, right? So you can look at the specifics of that. And then the last one is a research paper, which is photo analysis. You're going to choose a historic photo, something that has been published, something that has had historical impact. We'll talk more about this as we get closer. And you are going to analyze that and write a paper about it, a research paper. The other ones are not necessarily research papers, although I give an extra credit option regarding research. More to come as we get closer, but this one has to be a research paper. It's longer. It's the longest paper of all of them. That one is required to be 5 to 7 pages. All right, so more details on that. Here are the details about the presentation after that. And then the quizzes, basically the quizzes correspond with each documentary we watch. So you'll be quizzed on each of the documentaries that we watch, okay? And again, I provide a study guide before the quiz, all right? All right, and then, but I don't do makeup quizzes. How I set up the quizzes, when we do the quiz, I set up the quiz online that it has to be done between Thursday night. I set up the quiz to open it on the date of the quiz from a Thursday night at 11:59 p.m. through Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So you have that whole time period to get the quiz done, except it's timed, so you only have 50 minutes. So you can log in anytime during that time period for your designated 15 minutes, and then you have to take the quiz within 50 minutes, and then it will close out. So it's really important for the quizzes to know when you have 50 minutes. So you don't want to take it at a time that you have to suddenly leave, because you'll time out, right? So there's that. It is closed book. So it's a little bit of honor system on that. I don't put a lot of computer restrictions, but here's the challenge of that is we have to resist human temptation to look things up on the internet seriously, because plagiarism gets you a 0, and I'm excellent at research, and I hate using my research skills for such things, but it breaks my heart to see plagiarism. It's intellectual theft, and we're not doing it. And if you become tempted in such a way, you'll get a 0 on the quiz, and that's no fun. And worse than that, you get to talk to a dean of Napa Valley College who gets to interview you, and they can put a permanent mark on your record. It's really extremely problematic issue. So you don't want to go that route. So now that I'm getting very serious, and all of a sudden everybody's scared of me, right? But anyway, you just need to do your own work, and use the study, watch the documentary, take notes. You can rewatch the documentary on your own time if you wanted to, and you can, of course, use the study guide. And I find that most people are very successful by just using those straightforward methods, right? All right, extra credit does arise from time to time. So if I have an assignment that I think would build your skills in the area that we're working on, and could also help you to boost your grade, then I would like to be able to provide those opportunities here and there. All right, so just kind of watch for those. Again, now this section is on academic integrity, so what I touched on before does apply. That's basically talking you're doing your own work, meaning that you, again, we're human, and we're all fallible, so we can be tempted, and we have the internet that tempts us, but we cannot give in to temptation in this regard. So we can't do it, because if you took a paper from the internet, purchased a paper from the internet or something like that can be done, that gets you a 0. So, and again, that is just a terrible situation to be in. So don't do it. It's better, as I always say, it's better to get an honest C than it is to, do this and get a 0, and then the class is over for you, really, if you did that. So that's that. You know, who needs all that problem, all those problems, right? So it's one of those things. Someone tries to solve a problem in this not the best way and ends up with a bigger problem. So that's not the way that you want to go, right? So I think sometimes it comes from stress. It comes from leaving things to the last minute. We've all probably in one way or another found ourselves in some situation where we didn't allow ourselves enough time, or um, whatever, right? So I've been there as a student myself, but this is not the fix for that, right? It's better to just do the best you can with what you have available to you and try your best, right? Than it is to go down that route, all right? So to be clear, but it's a paper. And it does have issues of plagiarism that does equal a 0. You will be I can submit the papers through it like a Turnitin format, which looks for plagiarism, and I'm very able to easily, find that myself. I hate, like I said, that's not anything I want to do. I want to just enjoy your work. I love reading your work. I'm just so excited to see the growth and the engagement and everything like that. So that is just a depressing set of circumstances that I don't want to be in, and neither do you. So let's just avoid all that and just, do your own work, and off we go, right? But those are the specifics to refer to the syllabus. And of course, you can ask if you have any other questions in that regard. All right. Accommodations for students with disabilities. So if you happen to have any sort of a as many of us do, a learning difference, or any other sort of disability that might need some scaffolding, as I like to call it, scaffolding, right? Some support. Do let me know. We have a wonderful disability service program, DSP, that is just fantastic. They just offer wonderful resources. So if you're not connected with them yet, but you are interested in finding out, please do send me a text, and I will do my best to get you connected with them. Otherwise, if you are connected with DSP and you have some official accommodations, do tell me that those about those, so that they usually send an email with the specific forms and things like that. So just let me know about any of that. All right, and there's that. Okay, so we're going to flip the page again, and this is the reading and assignment schedule. And it's all, so you'll see the date, and then it'll have what's happening and all of that, right? So it'll have like what we're doing on each date. It has the, what week we're on spring break and things like that. So there are other assignments than this, but this is like an overview of what we're doing each week, and I usually stay pretty on track with that. So hopefully that's helpful. There is no textbook for this class. If you're wondering, she hasn't mentioned the textbook yet, because there is no textbook. So what I found is that when I first started teaching this class many years ago, I used a textbook, which was, I liked the textbook, but I didn't feel that we used it enough to warrant the very expensive price. So what I've done is I've put together the concepts that we would study from the textbook, such as things like logical fallacies, inductive and deductive reasoning, that I've put together in my own format, and I've incorporated videos on those concepts that we'll be looking at, and then there are assignments connected with those videos, and then for the reading, I have us, instead of having a textbook for reading, I have us watching these documentaries that I've been doing this format for a few years now, and I really am excited about it still. So I really like these documentaries that we're watching, and they represent the theme. Here's the theme. They represent different aspects of education. So the first one that we're starting with looks at a high school in Washington, D.C. that's a continuation school, and it looks at some of the issues as they are supposed to be undergoing a reform, and sort of all the different pieces. This is where our critical thinking skills, one aspect, comes in, when we're looking at the needs of the administration, the needs, of course, of the students, how the students fit into the larger community, the needs of the community, what the educators are trying to do, what their needs are, and we're looking at the parents, all these different pieces, and looking at the situation critically, right? And so I think this documentary does a good job in doing that itself. So we're looking at that. I've got like I said, a series of documentaries. I've got another one that looks at for-profit colleges and analyzes that, so we'll look at that more specifically. I've got one that looks at college in general, like a lot of different aspects of college, the high cost of college right now, some different aspects. I don't want to give it away. I'm really excited about my video. So that's we've got College Incorporated is one, and Ivory Tower is another one, and then I wind up with one that is a video about that's a really warm-hearted one about a school in Vermont for a boarding school for students with learning differences, and how they have to, their big final project is to memorize the Gettysburg Address, which is really challenging for some of them with some of their learning challenges, and how this, how they go through that, and it's all connected with, they then give you the history of the Gettysburg Address from Abraham Lincoln, and they incorporate it together, and I just love that video. So I'm really excited about all the videos, and I hope you will be too. So that's kind of overall the syllabus and kind of what we're doing. Oh yeah, and we don't end up with that. I have one more. I hope this is going to work in the statement form, which I have actually one. I wind up with a fictional one about a student returning to school as an older adult too. So I've got a lot of different like aspects and analyzing education, the theme of education from these different perspectives. So to employ our critical thinking skills in that way. So I'm really excited about the class. I love teaching this class, and I'm really excited about this format. So we're starting to chug up the roller coaster now. So again, I'm so glad you're here. And if you have any questions, please do send me. I'm really good with the text, so send me a text. But you can contact me in all those other ways too. So that's all good. All right, welcome.